Gullywash is the best map in the game, hands down. You can go from mid to last very quickly, and you can rotate all around the map and push any entrance, which is why it's the best map in the game. There's no useless areas of Gullywash. Gullywash mid is quite special. It's not really like any other mid. Well, maybe Snakebot mid's like this as well, but unlike most mids, Gullywash is almost entirely dependent on your soldiers, and they're the most important thing on this mid. What your soldiers do is crucial, because if your soldiers completely beef everything on this mid, you just won't win the mid. Everything about Gullywash mid relies on getting across the point, and you can't do that while their demo man is still looking at you. That's how the mid flows, but I'll talk about exactly what you need to do now. Your demo man, 99.9% of the time is going to roll out choke. The only reason you would ever roll out big door is if you were going their side, but their side is quite bad. Like, their side mids are done all across the skill divisions, but they're very risky, and if the other team knows how to play against it properly, it will never work. You will wipe on the mid and it will be terrible. Always default to your side, right? Because you never know like how good you're going to be. But anyway, I did say that Granary was the most important rollout for a demo to be fast on. This is the second most important rollout for a demo to be fast on. You'll come to choke, and the first thing you want to do is just sticky that door. And you can do, 120 damage total to people that are in here. If you're quick, you could hit their medic 2 times, you could hit a soldier twice. It puts somebody out of the fight early on, and it's really crucial to do that on Gullywash. If you don't get any early damage, they're going to walk up quicker than you, and you don't want that to happen because it means that they can get fast bombs on you. Your demo needs to keep in mind that there's always going to be a scout here. Like, a scout will always jump up here and try and pressure him back a little bit. He won't try and kill him, usually. If he's too far forward, he might, so just be prepared to deal with that. If a scout runs at you, don't be surprised, because it will happen. Yeah, so your demo, basically, he rolls that choke and he comes here and he plays here and he shoots big door, and then he pretty much just shoots over the point. And your job as a demo man on this mid is very easy. All you have to do is just stop people from walking over the point. As long as you do that, you've done your job properly. Stop people from standing on that and stop people from walking across the point. Open soldiers stand on top of the point, and they're just really easy kills because you can just shoot them off it. Basically, the rest of your team, except your demo, will roll out through big door. Your scouts, one of them should do this, so he should jump on. I mean, I can't do the jump because I'm really bad at scout. Yeah, so you do that, and then you just kind of shoot the demo man a couple of times, and you don't want to die, so you just shoot the demo man a couple of times, and you just do this. You come back, and then you walk up your side, yeah? Your other scout, instead of doing that, he goes straight up here with your medic, and your med needs to be healing your scout the whole time, comes all the way up here, and you need to get up here as fast as you can. If the other team's faster than you, they could walk across the point and kill you, so you don't want that to happen. Your soldiers, again, as I said, really, really important part of the mid. Your scouts need to just play passively and deny bombers, but your soldiers are the ones that do all the work, right? There's a million and one different things you can do on Gullywash mid, but I'll talk about a few of them. So your pocket soldier and your roaming soldier they're not really pocket and roamer on this mid, they're just soldiers, yeah? Like, it doesn't matter which one does what. They're both going to end up bombing into their team somehow, so a lot of people like to go to drop down. This only works if their team's really slow or dumb and they don't see you. Otherwise, you're going to jump up here and there will just be a soldier there or a scout, and they'll just kill you. I don't know, people still do it in high, but it sucks if the other team knows how to deal with it. But if it works for you, do it. There's really easy ways to shut that down. And if you're playing against like a soldier that goes up drop down, literally all you have to do is at the start of mid, your scout goes here and he stands here, and then when he jumps up, he just 2 shots in. It's not hard. It still works, like, even in high, and I don't know how it works because it's so easy to counter. But if the other team's slow or their demo man is slow and whatever, it works. Some people, when they play soldier on this map, they jump up here, and I don't like to do that, and I don't like my soldiers to do that, because when you're stood up here anywhere, it doesn't matter where it is, unless you're maybe over here. Whenever you're stood on the high ground on this map, you're going to get spammed by something, and as a soldier, you don't really want to be taking any damage on this mid. You want to take no damage and then jump with full health. You don't want to stand here getting spammed by stuff and then your med has to arrow you before you jump. It sucks, right? Most soldiers on this mid, they'll just sit on the floor. They'll stand here. This is quite a nice place to be at the start of mid, because you can spam their big door. Same goes to this side. This side is actually better because they're going to be walking that way. You can roll out here and immediately start spamming rockets over there, which is quite nice. But in general, yeah, your soldiers are just going to sit on the floor. Your soldier might kind of jump up and stand kind of like here maybe, because it's quite nice because they can't see you. So when you bomb, if you bomb from here, you can do like a little cool skip jump across the point. They can't see you. Yeah, in general, soldiers sit on the floor in big door. There's various jumps you can do. Some people at the start of mid need to, or they like to jump here and here and then go into their big door after a couple of seconds has passed. There won't be any men in here, so then you can get a soldier in their big door, which is really cool, because then you can bomb a soldier from your big door and their big door up onto their side. It doesn't matter what your soldiers do. You can do all sorts of stuff. You can sit on the floor and then just jump up. Really simple, really easy if you don't have very good jumps. If there's nobody underneath watching this, their soldiers are probably going to be here, but if there's no one here, you can walk under here and jump, and then it's going to be from the other side and they wouldn't expect it. You can just waddle up here. I've seen people do this as well. But it doesn't matter what your soldiers do, and the most important thing on this mid is not what your soldiers do, it's that it happens exactly at the same time. Your execution on this mid is really important. So what you do is you sit and you wait and you wait and you wait until there's good damage, and then you execute. So your execution is your soldiers jumping. When your soldiers jump, your scouts are going to stop playing so passively, or one of your scouts is anyway. One of your scouts still needs to watch for jumping soldiers, but the other scout can start walking onto the point with your demo man, and your medic and your demo and your scout should be pushing across the point. And when you do that, you've got a soldier jumping from maybe either side or both from the side, doesn't matter. But you've got soldiers on them, you've got people on the point, and you just sandwich them in this little area. They're either going to run away choke or they're going to instantly die. That's pretty much the standard way to play Gullywash Middle. The only thing you really do differently on Gullywash Middle every time is your soldiers do different things, and that's why it's such a soldier-dependent mid, because it all relies on those bombs from your soldiers, and they have to be done at exactly the same time. You can do that side. I'll tell you how to do that side mid. It's pretty bad though, and it's quite easy to do, but it's quite bad. Your demo man rolls out big door, and you just start sticking their demo, and you start trying to do damage to him, or start sticking their choke. And then your soldiers both get full buffs, and they jump onto the demo, and they jump up here, and they get position, so that nobody can be here. They might shoot at this, and your demo and med are going to walk up here. Their demo should be out choke or dead, and your demo will just be shooting this door, like really as hard as he can, spamming pipes and stickies into this door all the time, to stop them from walking up and fighting you up here. When you take their side, it's a really, really quick mid. So you come up here, you sticky that, your scouts need to both be up here. Both of your scouts need to come up here. And then immediately, after you get up their side, you're going to expect to be bombed by soldiers. You're going to have to deny the bombs, and then once you've done that, you should have 2 or 3 picks, at which point the other team will either be leaving big door or they'll be on your side, and they'll try to leave big door. If they don't leave, you can just walk across the point like you would normally and fight them. Yeah, that's pretty much it for Gullywash mid. Gullywash second, everyone holds this wrong. I haven't seen, like, a team in open hold this second correctly at all. The best way to hold Gullywash second is to have your heals. So a lot of medics, they'll play like here. This is just bad because you've got your team holding close to choke, but you're standing here. So when a soldier jumps through, he doesn't have to strafe much at all to get onto you. Like he doesn't have to strafe around in a circle. He just lands here and kills you. And also, you're really far back from your team, so you can't give them heals. It's harder to arrow them. It's harder to come forwards and take an Uber with them if you need to as well. Your med needs to stand here. The reason for standing here, when they bomb a soldier to choke, he has to jump again to get onto you. So he has to jump over here and jump again to get onto you, because he can't strafe more than 90 degrees around the corner. And it also lets you heal your scout, who should be playing either on top of this rock or on top of here or on top of there. As a pocket scout, you want to play some high ground somewhere. It doesn't really matter where it is, as long as you can shoot soldiers that might try and jump your medic. Your soldier always holds choke, never rotates away from choke, always holds this choke, right? Your pocket soldier always needs to be here. Your demo man, a lot of open demo men and mid demo men, they stand in choke, or like they stand here and they sticky choke, and they just sticky choke forever. The other team will go and start pressuring big door, and the demo man will just stand here with sticky choke. Don't do that. As soon as you see like 3 people big door or something, your demo man needs to come over here and help your flank, and your demo man needs to rotate constantly between choke and big door depending on where they are. So that's really important to learn how to do. Your flank's just going to hold big door. Again, it's open, so this might work. You can stand on top of that sign, and you can just have a soldier stand on top of the sign, and your scout can go, look at me, I'm a scout on my own in big door, come and kill me. And then some people will run through and you can just kill them both. Like your flank can just kill them both. So that's a nice bait play on the flank that you can do. Your job in big door is, you're never ever when you're holding this flank trying to get kills, pretty much, unless you're doing that bait play because you've got a pick or something. You're never trying to get kills here. Your job is to stop them from walking in here, and if you can't do that and you have to back up here and they're kind of in, then you need to go into lobby and stop them from coming through this door. So that's really important as well. So yeah, that's pretty much holding second. It's really easy as long as your heals are here, because it also lets your medic come to big door and help if he needs to as well. Do you see what I mean? Like, rather than being here, or even worse, like here, I've seen people stand here. That's terrible. You need to be able to get between big door and choke, because one important thing about Gullywash is that both of these entrances are valid ways to push into this point. Gully second is quite easy to push because you can just walk in either door quite easily, so you can keep rotating until you get through. If you're holding a disadvantage, don't stand in shutter. Like, it's so bad, because when their team pushes, they're going to come here and their scout will do this and they're just on you and you die and you don't have time to back out. Or if you back out when they do this, you've left and there's no sack, and that's it, and you have to give them a second for free, and it just is bad. Your demo, stand in here. He always stands in here when you're holding a disadvantage. Your demo man stands in lobby and he stickies this. He can sticky above it all. The shutter, I sticky the shutter, which means if anyone opens it, they instantly die, but some people like to sticky above and bait people into the trap. It doesn't matter what you do, but choose. You should also sticky this shutter. Don't stand here with your head in it, because someone will come and kill you. Like a soldier will jump you. You'll get rushed by a scout in big door. You need to have stickies on this shutter and stickies on this shutter. You can peek it before they push, but when they start pushing, come back. And you want to start standing here, back, as far as you can. You need to have either a scout or a soldier in lobby with your demo. And like some people like to stand here when they're with their demo man in lobby. Some people, they prefer to be like here, right next to your demo. It depends on where you want to go. Your combo should not be in here at all. This is awful. Your heals and your scouts and a soldier should be up here, but you should be far back. And the reasoning for being up here is that when your demo man holds lobby and you're up here, they cannot get onto you and you can leave. And that's the only way that you can leave Gully second safely. When you're here, it lets you, like if they push from choke, your soldier can high bomb off that wall or something, so that lets you send a sack so you don't have to give it up for free. Or, you know, you can just kind of stand here and drop on them as they walk through here, because they might not check it. But as a general rule, people get this wrong because they misunderstand how quickly people can get through that door. You know, as soon as they're past this door, like they're here, you know, that's too late even maybe if they've got a scout ready to take the Uber. Like as soon as they start getting pressure on this, you've got to back out. And you can lose someone for it, but you've got to back out. Your combo just runs all the way through river, out into last. And if you're too slow, what will end up happening is that they'll go into lobby, they'll kill your demo, and they'll come through and they'll kill all of you on last, and it is bad. So make sure you know how to hold Gully second with disadvantage and leave. It's the most important, probably one of the most important parts of this map to get right. When you push mid, like, I mean, you probably know how to hold mid. I don't need to talk about that. Like, you have a soldier and demo over there, and then your flank holds big door. It's not hard, it's standard. You need to have someone watching drop down though, because people can get in there and jump in mid. Pushing mid, you can go through every entrance, push mid. The most preferred way is usually just to push choke, because when they have disadvantage, they have to hold so far back that you can kind of just walk in, check traps, be very slow. You can actually put stickies in this, so check that. There's usually going to be a trap on that. There might be a trap here as well, but walk all the way through. Probably the most common trap spot is on this side of the point as you push, because people run across the point and they die to stickies. But yeah, pushing mid really easy. You just kind of walk in for free through choke. I talked about slow and fast pushes. This is the easiest way to slow push. There's two ways to fast push. The first way is to go drop down. Your entire team goes drop down, like, or you know, your combo, so 4 players go drop down. When you get to drop, see, people make the mistake of going drop down and then they try not to use. Like, you don't ever not use when you go drop down. You go drop down and then you use as soon as you can, and then your demo and your soldier jump up onto their choke. I never ever do that push. I never call it. I main call for my team. I never call that push because I hate it so much. It's really difficult now that medics can run at scout speed. It's really difficult to catch people by Ubering through drop down. It's a risky one, but you can do it. And basically what you're looking to do is nuke them in choke by jumping with your Uber up to here and killing them. There's one other way to push mid, and that's through big door. This is my preferred. If we need to do a fast Uber, this is my preferred way to do it. You just have a scout and a soldier or a demo in the Uber, and you just walk up here, use through this door or that door, depends what you want to do. And you just kind of chase them, and you keep chasing them, and they can't really juggle you very well. So you just assassinate their medic and leave, pretty much. That's what you end up doing when you do that fast Uber. Sometimes people will be on the point, and that's fat, because then you come here, and then you Uber your demo man, and he jumps, and he locks this choke, and then you kill all of them because they've got nowhere to leave. So that's the 2 ways of pushing mid. Pushing second, most people push through choke. Oh yeah, this is important. When you push through choke, as a demo man, when you're walking to choke, put stickies there, and then just walk past them, because a soldier will be up there, and he'll drop down and try and kill your medic, and you can just kill him with the sticks. It's really easy. It's really predictable that a soldier's going to be up here all the time. But yeah, you push through choke, and then you kind of take top, cap the point, go river. You can also push through big door with the advantage through big door. If they are here in shutter, which is what I told you not to do, and this is why you shouldn't do it. So you take your scout, and you go here, and you just kill all of them, because they're going to be here. They're not going to see you until you're right here, and by the time you're here, it's going to be way too slow. You can come here, and you can go here, and it's just the fattest flank of all time. Take your demo as well in it if you want to. But otherwise, like, if you want to slow push second, usually you go through choke. If you want to fast push, usually you go through big door. You can't really fast push through choke because they're always going to be really far back up there. The only time you can do that is when you're doing a chase Uber. When you're holding mid with disadvantage, don't hold in big door. Like, I see people do this all the time. It's useless. You can't do anything. Like, when they push through, you can't sack on them, you can't do anything. Hold choke, like back out choke. When you back out choke, you got back out quite early because they could chase you big door. Gullywash is all about this cut-off game, rotating around people and wrapping them and back capping and doing all of this stuff constantly. That is what this map is all about. And if you can learn how to get behind people easily, you can just nuke on this map. That's why it's such a good map for roamer and things. Pushing Gullywash last. Lucky for you, it's the easiest last in the game to push by a country mile. You can even push it without using your Uber. I'll talk about the hold first, just so you know where everything is, or where it should be. If you have disadvantage on this last, you're going to have a pyro and either a sentry or a heavy, depending on whether you've had time to build a sentry. Having sentries on this last are kind of bad, because you can always kill them no matter where you push from. But generally the best sentry spot is here, Sometimes it can be here, but if they see it before they push, they can spam it, and it's bad. This is usually the best sentry spot at the bottom of the stairs here, 'cause it's quite difficult to spam. Some people also like to put the sentry here. Personally, as a demo man, I find this sentry easier to kill than the one that's at the bottom of the stairs, so I would say that that's the better spot, for sure. Oh, the other thing you can do is you can build a sentry here, and you can have a pyro air blasting everything away from it, but it sucks because it doesn't watch the point. The point of a sentry on Gullywash Last is to watch the point. The major thing about Gullywash Last is that you can just walk on the point and cap it because it's so enclosed and you can approach it from each direction. This last is really special in that sense. Yeah, going back to holding, you're going to be holding on top left usually. You'll have a soldier up here, your demo man up here. Your demo man may be up here. When you have disadvantage, you always want sticks on the point in this map. Don't sticky entrance, it's sticky the point. Your demo can either play up here. This is what I sometimes do. So your roamer's always going to be underneath the point pretty much because he needs to be able to watch for things that come this way. You cannot have nobody under here. Like, your roamer needs to watch it. So it's either going to be a roamer under here, or maybe your demo man might be under here as well to make sure he lives during the push. I personally find that nowadays, now that everyone knows how to kill the demo man when he's stood here, and because of how useless it makes you in the fight when they push, I think it's bad to stand underneath the point nowadays. But you can still do it, and everyone usually still does it. The other option is you stay top left. When you're top left as a demo and your med's here and whatever, what you're looking to do is deny their Uber and then stay here and not rotate. Like, most Slash you would rotate to spawn, go the other side. Gullywash, like, if you deny their Uber with a pyro really well, you can just stay on left and then you win because you've got the high ground over everyone. Otherwise, if you can't hold left really well, go right. Right is horrible on this map. Like, there's nothing here. You can't see river. I cringe every time I get forced into right on the Gullywash Last push. It sucks. Yeah, you're gonna have to sometimes. So your demo needs to decide whether he wants to play top left or under the point. I usually start by playing under the point, even though it's bad. If it doesn't work or the enemy team has a good way of countering it, I usually stay top left because that allows you to capitalize off what your pyro does as well, because you can start spamming people. So holding with equal Ubers, you just want to, like, your med needs to be here, your demo and soldier can be around here, wherever. You know, your roamer, he could be here, like on the stairs, like kind of watching river, spamming upwards at it. He might stand in water, spam it. This is bad, kind of, because people can jump you, but some people do it anyway. When you're holding this last, you probably want to build a sentry anyway, because of how easy it is to push, like, Gullywash Last. Whether you have equal Ubers or disadvantage, it doesn't matter. Always build a sentry. Pushing the last, I don't know, like, there's, again, a million ways to push this last. Like, I can't even go through all of them now. There's so many. With advantage, usually people are going to push, they're either going to Uber through river, and when they Uber through river, they're going to kill the sentry and then they're going to go straight on point. That's all they're going to do, and they might sticky the spawn as well. So that's all they do. And all you ever do anyway when you push Gullywash Last is you just go on the point. Like, that's all you do. You shoot the sticks off it and you go on the point. Sometimes people will push your shutter. This is okay, but it can be quite easily denied by a pyro. So when you push your shutter, you just want to push all the way up, lock this right-hand spawn. Your demo man just needs to sticky that, and then he needs to sticky the point, and you just put a scout on it and win. If their demo man's playing under the point and you can't get on the point, I would say if you have like 3 or 4 picks, you can just run a scout into the point and die to the stickies. Even your medic can even do this as well. It depends on how many players you have alive. But if you have like 3 or 4 picks and you need to cap the last, your scout can just run on, die to the stickies, and then your other scout can just run at the demo and kill him. So yeah, your demo just comes here, stickies this. If you're failing Gullywash Last pushes, you really need to reevaluate the way you're pushing Gullywash Last, because it is the easiest last to push. There might sometimes be a soldier in secret. I don't know why people play in here, because it's just bad. Like, when your demo's sticking on point, there's going to be sticks there and you'll die. Yeah, other Ubers, like, sometimes you can Uber through main. You usually do this when you know that there's a pyro on the pipe and you don't want them to deny your Uber with the pyro, so you push through main because you're not gonna they won't know you're there. So one of the things you need to know how to do on Gullywash is like sack into last. Sacking means to, like, it means sacrifice play, so it means to bomb one of your soldiers into their team, for example, to try and make them med use Uber or whatever. Yeah, or you might sack for the demo man, so you might try and go in and you might try and trade, so you might try and die and kill the demo man at the same time, and that's good because you need a demo on this map. That's what a sack is. It's basically just exchanging your life for something useful for your team. When you sack on this map, you can sack, well, usually most teams sack 2. You can sometimes sack 3 if you know what you're doing. Don't just sack 1 person into Gullywash Last. It's just bad. Like, you're never going to get anything. They're going to have a sentry and a heavy and a scout. It sucks. The easiest way to sack is sometimes they won't have anyone under here, and you can just get a scout under here. And what you do is your scout just runs on the point. As he runs on the point and they all look at him, your soldier can jump from river and jump on top of the point and try and kill their medic. And you can actually have both soldiers do this as well if you want. And your demo can stand in river and sticky off the point for your scout. So he stickies off the point and then your scout runs on it, and then your soldier jumps, and between all of that, you should juggle them off the point or kill some of them, and you'll end up just capping it without even having to use your Uber. So that can often happen on Gullywash Last if you know what you're doing. Practice that very well. Yeah, like other ways to sack, you can jump from balcony. You can do 2 soldiers, so you can jump from balcony and jump from river. You can like walk in from shutter and you can jump from river as well. If you know where the traps are, it's really easy to know where to sack. If you're sacking 2 people, you always want to be looking for either a force or to cap the point. And you're sacking to cap the point sometimes, because obviously if you cap you win. So when you do like 3-man sacks for the cap, it can be quite nice. One thing that's like really gimmicky but works. So when you do this 3-man sack, a lot of the time you get this like 90% capped, or 80% capped, or 50% capped. Doesn't matter what it is, right? As soon as you send the sacks, you need to. It doesn't matter if they're good or not. Just so your combo, all 3 of you, all 3 of your remaining players, or 4 of your remaining players, you need to go and stand in big door here, and your medic needs to be here, and your demo needs to be here with the scout and your soldier, and your demo just needs to sticky these 2 shutters. That's all you have to do. Hold in big door, sticky the 2 shutters. If they push, they're going to push up here. If they push up there, you can go behind them, and you can go to last, and you can back cap, and you can win. If they push out here, then you can do lots and lots of damage to them as they try and get out of the shutters and hopefully get some picks. So those are your 2 options. A gimmicky thing you can do as well is when you fail that point play and you have like 50%, 80% cap, whatever, you just have somebody spawn on spy, walk into their last, and decloak on the point and cap it. That's all you have to do. You can even do this when you do the initial sack, so you can have somebody come up spy, and you can have a scout run on the point and their spy decloak at the same time, and that just increases your cap time to the point where you might actually just cap it before they even get a chance to react to it. Gullywash Last is so easy to push that you can even push it without using your Uber. So there you go. That's it. And that's pretty much Gullywash.